and we are about to talk about periods. Periods, menstruation. And I know that some of you listening are like, oh my gosh. And that's actually quite a common thought. And it's, I don't know, I still can't believe in this day and age that it makes people uncomfortable to talk about periods. And here to chat about this with me is my Franki founder. We have got Chloe Ridge in the studio. Welcome to the show, Chloe.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, look, it's great to have you here. We're going to be talking about my Franki, but I just wanted to know, what is Franki?
So Franki is a reusable period care brand. We do everything from menstrual cups to pads, period underwear, and it's all about just, I guess, changing the way we view period care and another alternative to single use. I think with 1.8 billion people having periods every single month, if all those people were to use single-use period care, that's a whole lot of waste that ends up in our landfills, in the oceans, in the beaches. And so there was a big reason for me to kind of help spread the word of, something that's a bit different and something that not a lot of people actually do know about these days. And it's been around for, quite some time. So it's, I guess, educating people.
And that's what it is. It's educating people. And we've had an interesting chat already about sustainable fashion. And, that sustainable fashion doesn't just end with fashion. It continues into our life. So where did this idea for Franki come from?
So I guess my personal journey with reusable period care started about 2 years ago after having baby number 2. My periods pretty much doubled in strength, and I was in the supermarket looking for an alternative brand when just out of the corner of my eye I saw this little contraption and I was like, what is this? So I looked at it, I went home, did some research and, discovered, it's a menstrual cup. And through all the many benefits that a menstrual cup has, one of them that stood out to me was the fact it can hold 3 to 5 tampons worth of blood, which was going to be an amazing solution to my problem. So me being me, with no reservations, I jumped straight into it, gave it a go, and it was actually just life-changing for me. And I know it sounds cliche and cheesy, but it really just gave me what I like to call that period freedom of, I pop it in the morning, don't think about it, and then at night, just do the same thing. So with that, I spoke to friends about it who I had a real mixed bag of reviews of people who were like, reusable period care, what is it? Don't know about it. Those that did know about it either didn't want to, they were like, hell no. And then I had those who had been using it for years and were exactly like me, said life-changing. But then it came like, well, why didn't you tell me about it, And that's where the whole thing comes from that you were saying, periods. People are so afraid to talk about something that we actually, as people with periods, experience every single month. People talk a lot freer about sex and, other things to their friends. But when it comes to periods, there's a real kind of, that stigma and taboo around the word that it's dirty, it's, something to be ashamed of. And I don't know how you were like when, younger. I remember at school, we used to always hide our tampons and pads up our sleeves, because we didn't want our friends to know we were on our periods. And it shouldn't be like that. And I do think that, the younger generation now is changing a little bit. They are a little bit more confident around that topic. And they're also willing to, they're a lot more open to change and using more sustainable products as well.
100%. I think they're not only open it, they're seeking it out. I just loved how you talked about heavy periods, because my sister, I remember growing up, she had debilitating, very heavy periods, and it kind of stopped life for her. Actually, it was quite sad because she's very bubbly, very extroverted, and she just kind of would go into a shell and not leave the house pretty much. Menstrual cups, what are these?
So a menstrual cup is I shouldn't be probably call it a contraption, but it is A cup that gets inserted into vagina, very much like a tampon, instead of absorbing the blood, it actually collects the blood. So it doesn't actually alter anything in your vagina, your pH balance or anything.
Yeah.
It can be worn safely in there for up to 12 hours. And as we touched on, it holds 3 to 5 tampons worth of blood. So for people with heavy periods, it is amazing. People like athletes who are, competing for hours, they're training, they don't really have the time to go, hey, I need to stop my marathon to go and change my tampon, So there are many benefits. And aside from, the sustainable aspect of it as well, one cup can last anywhere between 5 to 10 a year. So the investment is $45, but that's about, for an average person, possibly like 5 to 6 months worth of single-use period care, and you can use it up for up to 5 years. Although, with all our fun colours, I know a lot of people do like to have, one in the gym, on the gym bag, one in the office. So, and some people do like to change them more regularly, but it is completely fine. Yeah, as I said, to be, kept for five years or more.
I love that. And I love that you've referenced athletes, as someone who loves gym life.
Yeah.
Gym life hard. That's all. And even like girls in school with PE and stuff, sometimes getting their period can be a reason to stop them moving. And we just had some latest research out that was showing that New Zealand actually has some of the worst activity levels in the world. And, getting your period for some girls can be a reason to stop moving and exercising. So it's fantastic to hear that these cups, you can have them all day.
Yeah.
I mean, hallelujah if you have a very heavy period. How wonderful is that? And you can train hard, and you got no worries about the cup dropping out?
No, it doesn't fall. It doesn't fall, I promise. And, and just for busy mums, like I found, as I mentioned, when I had my very heavy periods, which I still do, when you're having to look after 2 babies and you're trying to find a bathroom, when you're on the go, I wish I had known about these, when my friend told me she had been using them since, like about 6 years ago. Like, why didn't you tell me about them? So, I just want to really help spread the word. And aside from the business aspect of it, it is really about educating people about, just an alternative that is actually so much better for your body, doesn't contain any harmful toxins or chemicals. We also have the pads and underwear, because not everyone, uses tampons. So we wanted to make sure we catered for, everyone. And it's not gross. It's not tricky. It's no different to using single use. And aside from the actual benefits, all you do is, you got to, insert empty, and then your pads and underwear, you just pop in the wash,
Yeah, I think, even not in fitness, but I can think of times when I've had a really heavy period and I'll be at work and I'll have there's always that fear with pants, and you just kind of get to the bathroom, and it's not like a bathroom that is all-inclusive. So there's no options for you in the bathroom, like whether it's pads or tampons or whatever. So you're kind of stuck, and you stuff the toilet paper in your undies pretty much and hope for the best.
Yeah.
So, the idea of a cup that you can leave for ages, if you are someone in busy life, that's the worst feeling in the world, to feel stuck. And I also love this idea that you've made around inclusivity. In the days, we are actually speaking to someone who's gender fluid a little bit later in the show. But what if you are gender fluid, and how are you creating information around Franki to be inclusive for those that might be transitioning or gender fluid but get their periods?
Yeah, so through creating Franki, I didn't actually know a lot around that topic, and it was actually quite what's the word, awakening to kind of, realise that there are a lot of people who are born as a woman, but they don't relate to as a woman, and they have to deal with their monthly periods. And it's a reminder that, hey, that part of them is still a woman, And so the actual name Franki, a big part of it is the inclusivity aspect of it. It's a gender-neutral name. The meaning behind the actual name Franki means a frank man or free man and free woman and little French woman. So me with my French heritage, it kind of just fit the brand I was trying to create with frank and honest chats around periods, period freedom and inclusivity.